I didn't know any different because I entered the market in a down market. So I'd never seen the market we're experiencing now. So for me, it was all great. I just worked hard every single day and stuck through it. And I love being on the team because I had no knowledge. So I really looked up to John for the guidance. And sometimes you have to give for that, which you do on the team. But it came back twofold because I ended up being successful that much quicker.
If you can't write a contract on the back of your car on a Saturday night, then you don't know enough. All you have to do is show up. Just show up and you can succeed. Let's get to the point.
The reason Courtney's here, guys, is when she first came here, you were like a 20-year-old kid, looked like a deer in headlights to me. I interviewed you and your mom.
Yeah.
I remember in my office, and I don't know if you knew what you were getting into at the time, and then you went from that to achieving wealth that I'm sure probably is amazing to you. Like, how did I get from there to here?
Yes.
But let's start at the beginning. So you came here from California. You're in my office. We're talking about I don't even remember, rental management maybe? Your mom had rental management background?
Yes, yep. She had a rental management background, and I had just graduated college. I followed my dad here to the Destin area, and I was doing retail management.
Oh, were you?
Yep, I was doing retail management here, and I met Leah. And
Leah Casey.
She was the kind of the connection and said, I know a guy that's looking for a buyer's agent. And that's when, we came in and sat down with you and John Moran and got us all introduced.
Okay. So you came here, and then were you going to work with your mom, or I forget what?
We were both
exactly
kind of interviewing simultaneously. She was thinking about real estate. I was thinking about real estate. I really wasn't on my radar. Leah kind of put it on my radar. Like, I think you'd be a great fit. You should check into it. And then that's when we all kind of met and decided if that's the route I was going to take, I was going to go. I didn't even have my license. We just kind of had that introductory, hey, this is kind of what we do. Are you interested kind of thing? So that was very cool.
All right. So now you get your license, you get into real estate.
Yep.
Why did you do that?
I did that because I was always open for new opportunities. I was really enjoying retail, but I knew this wasn't quite the fashion mecca. So it was, if I wanted to live in this area, what could I do? What could I be very successful at and essentially make more money and live a really good life? And so I decided to stay here, get my real estate license, and see what I could do with it.
Okay. So there had to be some drive in there. When I saw you, I didn't think you had it when I first met you. I mean, you were obviously, you didn't know what you didn't know. Okay.
Yep.
So what did you do before real estate? Let's just start there. What did you do before real estate?
Sure. So before real estate, I like I said, I went to college and I got a degree in merchandise marketing from a fashion institute in San Diego, California.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was the comment on this isn't a fashion mecca?
Yes, that's what it meant. Yeah, this is not. I'm like, okay, in Destin, maybe I can sell some surfing clothes and beach clothes. I'm definitely not selling, New York runway clothes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And that's what you wanted to do?
That's what I wanted to do. I really loved the high fashion. I worked for a really high-end retail store in San Diego, and that was kind of, I really wanted to be a buyer for a high-end, clothing line. That was really my focus. Yeah.
Okay, so then you had to slum it and come to Destin, right?
Yeah, had to slum it, really take it down a notch, not really wear the heels and wear the flip-flops, and, kind of change my style up a little bit.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So, but where did the drive come from?
I think that, I've always been really ambitious. I've really worked since I was 14 years old. I took any under the table jobs I could get. I worked as a hostess at a little family Greek restaurant, from working as a receptionist at a nail salon in Arizona when I lived there before I went to college. So I've always worked really hard. And I think that once I got introduced to real estate, I realized, oh my gosh, if I work as hard as I like to work and I do it in real estate, I could really be successful. And so teaming up with John, as you know, was like, here, I'm going to give you this avenue where if you work hard, you can be really successful. And I basically did that and really never looked back.
Okay. So you're in year one. You're doing real estate.
Yes.
How'd it go?
I think I was lucky, right? First 30 days had my first buyer's agent sale, which, can be unheard of. And so I had some luck right off the bat, but that's not to say there weren't hard times to follow. But I just really came in here every day working really hard. I lived 5 minutes from the office. I lived with my dad, so I had no responsibilities, no financial responsibilities. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids, so I could give real estate day in and day out all of my time.
Did you hit your goals in year one?
I did.
You did?
I did.
And
Yes.
do you attribute that to John Moran and his At the Beach team support or what?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay.
I just basically was leaning on John at the time, like, okay, what do I do here every step of the way? Help me, and I can do this. And so I learned so much from him. I started out as a buyer's agent, and that whole first year I strictly helped buyers buy property along the Emerald Coast.
Okay. So a lot of people don't want to be on a team.
Yeah.
And you succeeded through this team process like
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
Okay. Year two.
Year two.
How many years have you been doing this? I should have covered
10.
that. 10. Okay.
10.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
been 10 years since
Yeah.
you first
So
came
I
here?
started when I was 22.
Holy cow.
Yes. So 10 years. And, year two, I think, was a little not as successful as year one, but I think it was just also a sign of the times, too, because we're talking 2012, 2013, and pretty much a down market, right? I mean, great deals to be had looking back. And I didn't know any different because I entered the market in a down market. So I'd never seen the market we're experiencing now. So
Right.
for me, it was all great. I just worked hard every single day and stuck through it. And I love being on the team because I had no knowledge. So I really looked up to John for the guidance. And sometimes you have to give for that, which you do on the team. But it came back twofold because I ended up being successful that much quicker.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever leave the team?
No.
Okay, you stayed on it the whole
Yep,
time,
yep.
even through the hard times?
Yep, even
Okay.
through the hard times. I mean, John and I have had a really good relationship, and I value John's advice, and he's always there for me, and that's just something that really you can't put a cost on. Someone that's always in your corner, giving you advice, and I'm not, I have my strong suits, but John's a really good writer. He writes very good emails. He makes a lot of great sense. And so I go to him a lot like, hey, help me craft a response to this person. And there's things I can't even come up with that he does. So.
Oh, yeah. Quick story, backstory on this. So Courtney was like aggressively pursuing success.
Yes.
And John used to come into my office. Courtney, she calls me every 5
Yeah.
seconds about everything. But that led to your success, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so-
Because, I'm one of those people, if I have a question, I want to ask it. And that's how I feel like, one of the tips to success is you got to constantly be asking questions so you can grow. And if you don't ask the questions, then you don't get the answers, and therefore you can't be better. So I ask a lot of questions.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
John used to carry on so about it, but that who knew was going to lead to your whole
Now when he doesn't hear me, he's like, "You okay? Are you okay?"
Your aggressive nature, which you don't look aggressive,
No.
but you are, based on your results. Okay, so you start out as a buyer's agent.
Yes.
Run us through your career, your 10-year career real
Yeah,
quick.
so I would say, I can't even think now. I think probably I was a buyer's agent for about 5 years, probably about half the time. And the whole time, John's slowly chipping away at me. Like, you really need to be a listing agent. Really need to be a listing agent. They hold the cards in the market. You're the car lot, not the person running around looking at the cars. And you need to hold all the inventory. And
Right.
the thought of working with a seller scared me. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I was much more love the buyers. I like the person of, being personable, going out and meeting them. That was really my thing. And I thought I was good at that. And I didn't think I needed to focus on anything else. But John kept chipping away at me. He's like, you really need to think about this. So slowly he was kind enough, on our team, we don't typically list and buy, we're one or the other. And he let me do both for a little bit because I was, afraid to just go from making good money to maybe not making so much money. So he let me do both for a little bit. So I started on the listing side where I started developing relationships with owners in town while keep on going with my buyers. And then the last 5 years, I've mainly done 90% sellers, 10% buyers, been like that for the last 5 years. And now I can't imagine going back to working with buyers and being a buyer's agent. I do it for certain clients, but working the leads that come in and driving them all over town now I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do that. So it changes.
Yeah, so I get it. So John let you do both because you wouldn't do what he wanted you to do.
Yes. He knew I needed to get my feet wet slowly, that I wasn't ready to just take that leap.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your goal in year one?
I think my goal in year one was $100,000
in
income.
And you did that?
I think I did that, yep.
That's very good. At 22?
Yep.
Okay. So it just takes work, right?
It takes work.
Okay.
It takes a lot of work.
Yep. And you were here for it. That's the novel idea. I always, if we could get our agents to show up and get after it, they could be or do anything they wanted to, right?
Yes.
We know
Anything.
that. Like, I want so much for them all the time. And when we know by people like you, it's why you're here. If you do that, you can win.
Mm-hmm.
But
win big.
The thing is, you got to want it bad.
You do.
Because it's not easy, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, what was your big why? What drove you to do that?
Well, I'd say at first, like I said, when I first started, I wasn't married, didn't have children. My big why was probably that I wanted to live a big life. That I grew up doing a lot of travel through fortunate parents, and I love to travel, and I just wanted to have that luxury of, being able to go here and go there, and I want to buy this. I loved fashion, so. Really, in the beginning, my big why was so that I could live the life that I wanted. And I think now that's transitioned, obviously. I'm now 32. I have a husband. I have a child who's 1 year old. And now it's still the same, but on the bigger scale of, for me, my family, that I want to build a life of wealth for us to have for a long time.
Okay. Wow. So that's a lot of it. Okay. So you know how to unpack that. So you're single, you're going after the big life, which is travel. Did you write travel into your goals to keep you showing up every day?
I did. And I like to plan trips. So I felt like, okay, if I have some trips on my schedule or plan them. So if I work hard the next 3 months, and in 3 months, I get to go on this amazing trip that I've booked. And that is kind of what I kept in front of me, is these experiences that I would plan for myself. And that way, that would just kind of keep me going on the daily, that I knew if I worked hard, then I could afford having those things and going on those trips. And that's another thing about being on the team. I wouldn't miss a beat while I was gone, and that my real estate would be taken care of, and I could go enjoy and not be stressed out about missing that time off.
Where'd you go?
Yeah.
I like traveling too. So where'd you go?
Well, I usually like going to Europe a lot. I've family in England.
Ah.
So I'll go there usually, and then I'll pack in a couple other, places.
Right.
I like to go. I want to go everywhere before it's all over.
Me too.
Yeah.
Don't wait until you're my age. Go.
No, go now.
That's
go
for
now.
everybody.
Yes.
Put it on
Live
on your goals.
Yes. Plan for it and do it.
Raise the money and go for it. There you go.
Yep.
All right. So now, it changed from, I want to go on all these exotic vacations to, I'm married. I have a child. Now what?
Yes, now it's like I want to take him on those exotic vacations and travel,
nice.
And I want to buy other real estate for our family to create a passive income path. So not only do I sell real estate, but we own two investment properties.
Okay. Say whatever you're comfortable saying on that. So, and I want everyone to hear this. So you went, so now you're married, and your goals last year were what?
Last year, financially, or just in general?
Well, production. What did you want to make, or what did you want to do?
I think production last year, my goal was probably to double what I did the year before, which would have been around $500,000 of gross income for me. I did have a baby last year, so I kind of worked really hard up to him being due in April, and then knew that I was going to take obviously some time off. But last year was such a busy real estate year in general that I knew I could not just sleep on that time. So honestly, I worked a lot and had a baby, but I was able to just kind of build on the momentum that I had already put into place.
So you exceeded 500.
Yes, last year. Yes.
I could take it further than that. It's amazing what you did. Like, if you could eliminate all the excuses. So you had a child last year.
Yes.
You made a ton of money.
Yes.
And so now instead of chasing John for the answers on contracts, you're chasing John to do what?
As far as our next step, I'm chasing John to grow the team. We're going to go over to Alabama and branch our team out, and hopefully I'll be a little mini John in that regard and get to help lead some people.
Okay, so Courtney went from what is the plan with the Alabama expansion?
The plan is that I'm going to have agents underneath me like I'm underneath John. And that they're going to be, you know how I was calling John all the time, that they're going to be calling Courtney all the time. And I'm going to be their go-to person and help grow them to be successful real estate agents. And I'm going to be their guidance.
So she won't let John go in the background. John's coming to me now with Courtney. He's pushing on me to get this. I haven't been there in 2 weeks, and she's not happy with that.
Exactly. So I really think that John and we can do awesome things with what we have. Yes. And so that's what we want to do. What's kind of the next level, love selling real estate, want to continue doing that. But now it's like, let's help some other people do that and be really successful at it.
And that's your dream for the future? That's what's next
I really
for you?
like working with people, and I like being naturally, I feel like I'm a leader, and that's kind of one of my strengths. So I think that it would be great to be in a kind of coaching role for me for the future. And then that way, I'm talking 20 years down the line, I can maybe be somewhere else, helping grow the team, coaching, and get to live out some of my other dreams of I'd love to live somewhere else part-time, things of that nature. So.
That's why you asked me where.
That's why I'm like, where are you going?
I see.
I'm always trying to see where everyone's at.
Okay. All right. So do you have a retirement plan?
Probably not as concrete as I should, but it's something I want to. I mean, I do and I don't. I guess a very loose plan.
So you're working hard to go on these vacations with your family. Anything more?
Like I kind of touched on building some investment properties. So, we turned our first primary home into a short-term rental 2 years ago. And then we also purchased a condo in Panama City Beach at the end of last year that we both are my husband really more than I am, but self-managing those. And that's going to hopefully be our route for some passive income, eventually pay those things completely off and have that income coming in. So
how did you learn to do that? You should do that.
Yeah, well, John.
Yep.
Again,
Where'd you get the confidence to do it?
Yeah, well, John really wants more for us than just being real estate agents. He wants us to build wealth. That's really been what he's been hitting home lately. Like, how can we build wealth and have that? And so he really kind of pushed me on that last year. Like, you should really buy another property, have some income producing. Danny can help, my husband can help run that. And you guys live here. You're already doing it and you're doing great. And so that kind of pushed us. Like, we got comfortable with one and then we added another. And so now we're getting comfortable with having two. And so it'd be nice to eventually have a few more. I mean, once you have your key players in place that help you get that done, it's kind of easier to duplicate.
That's right. It's not that hard. Like we had 5 townhouses and condo golf front, and I had 12 townhouses, and we were handling the whole thing ourselves.
Yeah.
And anyway, there's more wealth in purchasing real estate for yourself and your family than there is selling it to other people.
Yes.
For you, like, and this may stimulate you to think about that. Do you want to retire early?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I like to work, so it's not like I shouldn't say like retirement's the first thing on my mind, but I think retiring the sooner the better would be great. So I have more time to go and enjoy more things that I want to in life. Yeah.
If I were to go back and think of something I could do that I would change, it would be retire earlier.
Yeah.
Start and have a plan that I'm getting out.
Yes. Yeah. I guess the way I kind of think of it is, how can I create my life, the passiveness? So how can I be in Timbuktu and making money over here? Like that, I think, is the best of both worlds. Be where you want to be, enjoying your life and still having income.
I read a book. It's old. I think it was called The 4-Hour Work Week or something. It talks about all of that.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
It's been around. It's just that most people don't plan for it, and they just think it's going to happen. You got to make it happen.
Got to make it happen.
Okay, so now you're let's say you're in Alabama, you're running the ship, you guys are going on all these vacations.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Well, I think right now in the next, obviously, several years is going to be helping hopefully build the At the Beach team brand, so to speak, and get, teams. So, once we go to Alabama, our goal is to go to a few more places and continue on at other beach locations.
So you expand into other locations.
Yes.
And where will you be in that?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start out obviously with Alabama, and then obviously be kind of overseeing that, and then maybe oversee another location eventually as we grow this and have some other people underneath of me. So as I move up, then someone that initially is kind of under me, they might take the lead in Alabama, which would maybe free me to go up to another location and grow it like that.
Okay, so you're going to keep on moving, looking for that
That's what I
fashion
hope
mecca?
so.
Or
Yeah,
what?
I am. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get to South Florida. I like the vibe there,
Okay.
So, yeah. I don't
Living
know.
that big life, so
That's
it's all
what I wanna
still
do.
there.
It's all still there.
Very
But
good.
the first place to go is Alabama because it's similar to what we do here, and we need to do something that we know very well. And that's one place that we could do that.
That's awesome. Courtney,
Yeah.
you're amazing.
Thank you.
In 10 years, you've achieved more than most people do in a lifetime.